Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first week of the new SmackDown in 2023. This is the card for tonight's battles. We have the Intercontinental Championship up for grab in the opening matchup of Montez Ford versus The Miz. Charlotte Flair is then going to speak a little bit, and she's going to say some words about her life. She's going to have a come into Jesus moment, you guys. Come into Jesus with Charlotte Flair. That's what we'll call it. And then in the mid card, we have Bayley and Shotzi against Gail and Nikita Lyons. And then you have Liv Morgan doing a little bit of charity work for the crowd, getting some work done. Braun Breaker versus Mustafa Ali should be a very, very good match. And finally, right before the main event of the evening, we have Rhea Ripley calling out Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is the SmackDown Women's Champion currently at this time. And then to close out our night in an Extreme Rules match for the Universal Championship, Big E, the champion, defends against Finn Balor. It's going to be a stacked show tonight. I hope you guys are excited. Let's check it out. Are you ready? Let's see who's going to win, first of all, between Montez Ford and The Miz. Montez Ford is your new Intercontinental Champion for SmackDown. It was a pretty good matchup, back and forth. Montez was able to hit his finisher on The Miz. The Miz did try and go for his, but Montez blocked it. Montez is a singles star as of week 1 here in the new season of SmackDown. Charlotte Flair came out, talked a good promo, talked a lot about her coming to Jesus moment, talked about her dad, talked about the life that she lived as a young child, and she talked to the crowd. And a lot of us in the crowd tonight, we didn't really know exactly how she was going to come across, because whenever Charlotte Flair comes out and talks, she always has a lot to say. She always has a lot to say, and most of the time she's talking at the crowd and she's saying not nice things. Tonight she came out and she opened up her heart. And she said some things about her father, Rick, about how when she was a child, how he was always gone from home. And he wasn't there for her, and he didn't have the relationship that she wished she wanted to have. And she knew she could do better, and she brought herself into wrestling. People think that it was Ric Flair that got Charlotte Flair into wrestling. False, it was not. It was Charlotte herself, and that's what she said. She got herself into this business because she knew that she could be what she has become now, and that is the queen. And it's because of all these fans that pushed her to become the queen that she is today. Next we have Shotzi and Bayley versus Nikki Lyons and Cora Jade. I said Gail earlier. My bad, Gail. Shotzi and Bayley versus Nikki Lyons and Cora Jade. We're going to start something new here. We'll see what the simulation brings on. Bayley and Shotzi had a not so entertaining matchup. Bayley and Shotzi won the match, but it was basically like it was a botch fest, and sometimes that does happen. Liv Morgan then came out and she started doing some charity work. She did some charity work. She said hi to some of the kids sitting in the front row, smiled her little butt off, did her thing. That's what Liv Morgan does, you guys. She brought in more fans, but butts in the seats. Braun Breaker, who has newly been promoted from NXT up to the main roster of SmackDown, is facing his very first opponent on SmackDown, Mustafa Ali. Braun Breaker is not a good person right now. He lost his title. He lost his NXT championship down in NXT, and now he's here on SmackDown, and he is mad. He is not happy at all. He's coming after Mustafa Ali, and let's see what he does. Braun Breaker makes his his SmackDown debut, comes out here. It wasn't the best match, but I think that because what it was is that it was repetitive. It was the same thing over and over and over and over again. All he did, he came out and he beat the living daylights out of Mustafa Ali. He pummeled him. He broke him down to a pulp. Absolutely destroyed Mustafa Ali. Basically, in the business, what you would call a squash match. It's something that's not a term that we like to use in the business at all, but it was a squash match. And Braun Breaker proved tonight, without a shadow of a doubt, that he's here to play on SmackDown. It was a disappointing match for the crowd because the good guy did not win. The good guy did not win, and that was Mustafa Ali. But it was also disappointing because it was a quick match. It was over in a mere couple of minutes. 2 minutes, to be exact, is how long this match lasted. And now we have the new rivalry that just spawned out. Charlotte Flair came out this earlier on in the show, and she talked about her father. She talked about her childhood. She talked about how she got into this business, how she did all herself because of the fans, because people were pushing her. They wanted to see a good Flair in the wrestling business, a reputable Flair, a respectable Flair in the wrestling business. Rhea Ripley came out tonight, and she just got done calling out Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley wants a shot at Charlotte Flair's championship belt. She wants to take that belt off of Charlotte Flair, and she wants to show everybody at SmackDown that she doesn't give a crap about her daddy. She doesn't give two craps about the fans. She doesn't care about the childhood that Charlotte Flair had. She hates Charlotte Flair. She thinks that Charlotte Flair is not any kind of queen. Rhea Ripley is here on SmackDown. And finally, to close out the night, tonight, the main event of SmackDown and the season premiere of SmackDown, we have Big E, who is currently the SmackDown Universal Champion, versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor is mad. He has been taunting Big E, and he thinks that he is better than Big E. Big E has separated himself from the New Day. The New Day is not on SmackDown. There is no Xavier Woods. There is no Kofi Kingston. There is nothing like that. Budios have gone away. This is a different side of Big E. But what he doesn't have right now is Big E is still his smiley old self. All he does, he smiles, he walks around the backstage of SmackDown, he smiles all the time, he's always in a real happy mood, and Finn Balor is like, nah, bro. I'm going to take that smile away from you. He's trying to take away the belt, he's trying to take away the smile that Big E has put on his face. So let's see what happens. Finn Balor and Big E had a great match to close out the season premiere of SmackDown. Finn Balor is your new WWE Universal Champion on SmackDown. Finn Balor has come into SmackDown and he has effectively done what he effectively wanted to do, and that was to remove the smile from Big E. At the end of SmackDown tonight, when Finn Balor walked off with that championship belt, Big E was still in the middle of that wrestling ring. And Big E was sitting there, and he was not smiling. He was not smiling at all whatsoever. Big E then hit a referee because he was not happy. He hit the referee because he could not believe, because he thought that he kicked out. He thought that he kicked out because Finn Balor ended up hitting him with the coup de grace. And Big E thought he kicked out, but he didn't. And the instant replay that was shown showed that Big E had his shoulders on the mat. Was it close? Yes, it was very close. It was one of those. It was very, very close. But it wasn't close enough for Big E. Big E has lost his smile. And I know you can say that that sounds kind of repetitive. There's somebody else in the history of WWE who has lost their smile before. And that was Shawn Michaels many years ago. Maybe next week on SmackDown, And the next episode of SmackDown, episode 2, we will hear from Big E about what he has to say. And we'll see where the story goes between Finn Balor and Big E. So, we'll simulate all these other shows. We don't really care about them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the season premiere of SmackDown tonight. Shall we see how we did? Main event was very well. We did pretty good. Let's see what some of the fans thought of the show tonight. Bayley and Shotzi worked really well together as a tag team, said Legend Phenom 92. Good for you. I think that was great. SmackDown in itself did receive 54,000 new fans, added on to our 1 million that we started out with. We did earn some money in our show as well. We profited, which is good. We had a net profit. Swiss Dude Mega said on Twitter that he cannot believe Balor is the new champion. Balor has really earned that strap. Hey, you do what you got to do to win the championship. Liv Morgan came out and she did her promo and everybody knew exactly what we said it would. Yeah, Charlotte Flair, a good guy. Never saw it coming. Neither did we, New Age Spear DE. Neither did we. But we agree with you completely. Slam Woman Fiend, Slam Woman Friend, said really solid contest between Big E and Balor. Love it when contrasting classes mess like that. When you have a powerhouse and you have a fighter going at it like that, it was amazing. Miss Charlotte Flair, WWE, that's our champion. That's our women's champion. Said, try repeating those words to my face next week, Ripley, if you have the guts. So, Ripley called out Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair responded. Not sounded too very happy about that at all. Corey Jade and Nikita Lyons have absolutely no chemistry as a tag team. Hey, it wasn't the best match. It was a botch fest. We already knew that that's what happened. Charlotte Flair was called out by Rhea Ripley tonight. Looking forward to seeing them settle things in the ring. So are we, Super Concerto Max. And Bayley takes the match from Nikita Lyons. Could have gone either way. Hashtag SmackDown by Extreme Hillbilly 96. It was a pretty good match, but again, botch fest. It does happen. These kind of things happen on our shows. Again, thank you all very much for tuning in this week to this week's My GM Mode WWE 2K23 Week 1 season premiere of SmackDown. We will see you all next episode. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Comment if you have any comments. Where do you want the stories to go? If you have any insight or you think the story should go a certain way, let me know down in the comments, and we'll try and make it happen. If you have anything, any comments, suggestions, feel free to put them in there. Let's do this together. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next episode.